From the Boars Gym and Tavern Studios, this is the Paul Farrington Show. Paul joined by Jack Weinberger and Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia. It doesn't beat, you can't beat, other than the preview show, the Mailbag episode. So we got a Mailbag for you. You may have heard me say the Boars Gym and Tavern Studios. That's because that's what we're calling our studios now. Boars Gym and Tavern. So get used to it. That's where we're coming from now on. That's the name of the bar in my basement. The Boars Gym and Tavern. So, guys, we got a mailbag today. A lot of questions ahead of week 4. A lot of people curious about this Vikings-Packers game. A lot of AFC South conversations, actually. So we're going to dive into it all. But if you're enjoying the content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the Paul Farrington Show. We are chasing down, I guess right now, 15,000 subscribers is what we said in the last episode. So that's the new goal, 15K. If you can't watch on YouTube, you can listen on audio, doing Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. You can check out the merch store in the description. We really appreciate everyone who's been tuning in so far. You can always give us a follow, too, if you can, on Twitter, at Farrington Show. So, boys, why don't we hop into this mailbag right away from Pomsky X. He says, I swear I thought Sam Darnold and Andy Dalton were the same person, LMAO. I just thought that was a great comment right off the bat.
That's hilarious. I mean, you would think Darnold's Dalton's age.
And it is. I mean, I understand. Both redhead guys.
Both 14.
Yeah, both kind of backups for a while now. But yeah, both of them playing really well in week 3 is another thing. From Joe Barry to Gitmo. He says, given Malik Willis' solid performances, do you think Green Bay will be even more patient with Love's return to ensure 100% recovery? Or do you think he'll play no matter what since the next game's against a divisional opponent? Ziggy, go ahead.
I think that it's always been about Jordan Love's recovery. They're not willing to risk the long-term health of their franchise QB for 1 or 2 games. Malik Willis playing well is nice. But no, I think he's going to come back when he's ready, which will be this week regardless.
Yeah, I think he's ready to go now. We said in the preview show, the Packers would not risk Jordan Love if he wasn't ready to go. So if he's playing, he's good. So I expect him to play this week. If it was a must-win situation, I kind of have an inkling that he could have suited up last week. But yeah, no, he'll be fine. From Patrick Cortazzo, he says, last live, someone asked if you have a P.O. box yet to let people send the show stuff. Thanks. Not yet, but we'll get working on that. Unless if I just start handing out my home address. So
yeah, you could.
We'll get working on that. Nathan Smith says, at what point has Sam Darnold stolen JJ McCarthy's job?
Ooh.
What do you think, Jack?
I think he stole it. No, I think if he goes, I think if this team wins like 10 games, a division championship, I think he does. I think that's over if he wins the division. 10 games in like a postseason spot could be on the fence.
What do you mean by stolen the job too? I guess like starting next year. We'll say
next year, and like he's the starter. Like if they win the NFC North, Sam Darnold starts.
Ziggy, said
they decided that the job was JJ McCarthy's when they signed Justin Jefferson to make him the highest paid non-QB in the NFL in June.
So there's
this
nothing
team is
Sam
built
Darnold
around a rookie
do.
quarterback.
I
don't know what Sam Darnold could do because the better he plays, the more other teams are willing to pay. And the Vikings it's like if he takes the Vikings to the conference championship game, he's going to sign a deal for $50 million a year this offseason. The Vikings are not paying that.
No.
You think if he goes like 12 and 5,
he plays well all the way to the conference championship game? Yes, he will.
50, not 50 million.
If he goes like 12 and 5 and wins the North, you don't think he starts next year?
I think he starts for a different team.
I think that if he wins the division, the Vikings are going to give him like a $35 million a year contract for 2 years.
He won't. No, he'll get more than that. You think he's going to sign for less money than Daniel Jones if he leads us to a great season?
I don't think the demand is going to be as crazy as you're thinking. I think people like I'm viewing it more. Maybe he gets, what did Baker get? 40 a year? Maybe he gets 40. Did Baker get 40?
50 seems pretty steep.
Baker got a very team-friendly deal. It was like $330.
What if he goes undefeated?
$30 million a year for 3 years.
Yeah.
What if he goes undefeated?
He's not going undefeated.
Was Baker 3 for 100?
About that.
Was Baker 3 for 100?
He's fourth.
Yeah, just
there.
about. That sounds right.
I think he gets something similar to that. Or maybe 2 for 70. But yeah, I could see it. I think if they win the division, it's in play. Okay, from XX Zeppelin XX. We're starting to add on with these XX YouTube accounts here. Who would win it? Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I started it. Who would win in a fight to the death? 40 little people or one lion? We're talking a Coliseum type setting, not the jungle. I say if they all work together, the 40 little people would win. Sure, some or most would die, but they could pile up on the line and win. Been debating for years. What?
Oh, that's actually a really good question.
No, it's not. 40 human beings win. Next question.
Yeah, I'd take the 40 little people. People would die and get hurt, but 40 of them eventually would be able to win.
Yeah, I'm with you. Go people. Midwest Mountain Man says, good God, I'm going crazy here with these. Aristotle's examination of infinite divisibility in physics delves into whether matter can be endlessly divided without losing its essential nature. He suggests that while division can continue in theory, practical limits exist where a substance ceases to retain its fundamental properties, thus challenging the concept of actual infinity in the physical world. Have we lost you yet? Extending this contemplation of infinite potential and inherent limitations to contemporary scenarios, might we apply such philosophical reasoning to predict outcomes in other fields? For instance, as the Packers prepare to face the Vikings this week, should we consider their scoring potential as infinitely expansive, or do practical constraints imply they'll settle for a mere 42-point win? All that to say the Packers will dominate? No. The Vikings...
I was going to go to Ziggy for that answer.
Matter's actually infinitely divisible, by the way. Aristotle's a fool. It's continuous and it's infinitely divisible.
That sounds like a Vikings win to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Sounds like a draw.
Tony Ball says, depending on how Josh Allen plays Monday night, which was very good, Malik Willis might be the NFL's number one ranked passer 3 weeks in, which, again, Josh Allen was very good Monday night. With that in mind, how much motivation does this give Jordan Love to go out and outperform his understudy? I see him focused this week on playing the Vikes like he's in AT&T Stadium for a playoff game. What do you think? What do you think, Jack?
Oh, I think that Malik Willis playing decent enough these last 2 weeks and winning games was perfect for Jordan Love. I mean, of course, it gives him the fuel, the chip on his shoulder to come out and perform. If he comes out when he stinks, now it's like, wait a minute.
Not in terms of
I think it does absolutely nothing. I think Jordan Love is going to play how he's going to play.
If you get hurt, your backup comes in and wins a couple games. Of course,
Kaepernick taking over for Alex Smith.
Well, I don't think he's
Jordan Love's job is not.
It's not.
He will be highly motivated.
It's not in
but
jeopardy,
not because of this.
Right. It's not in jeopardy, but of course he's highly motivated. Yeah.
James Library says, how are you guys feeling about the AFC South right now? I know everyone was on the Texans bandwagon, but after struggling against the Bears at home and getting obliterated by the Vikings, I'm not so sure they should be the favorite to win the South. Keep up the amazing work.
The thing is, just who would be?
Yeah, the Texans are a little worse than expected. Everyone else is way worse than expected. So the Texans should still be the favorites.
Yeah, I mean, we're all in agreement, right, that the Texans have not been, I think I came out and said that they were a Super Bowl contender pretty quickly. And now I feel kind of dumb for saying, not dumb, but I feel like I'm regretting that take a bit with how they've looked. I still think they'll get back to that Super Bowl form, but yeah, it was disappointing to lose by 30. It's just, who are you going to take? Jacksonville, Tennessee?
Yeah, the Colts.
The Colts might be Colts and Jaguars have looked horrible.
Yeah.
Sounds Epic Music says, "Ooh, look at this. How does it feel to be the three hottest guys in football commentary?"
Oh,
all right,
great.
All right,
I'm pretty great. Let me just take my shirt off.
Yeah, maybe. Really quick. All right, we keep going.
I got
on
the Paul
Farrington show.
Right
XX McLovin XX says, "What's up, guys? Love the live stream. Let's get a couple questions in for clickbait. Hey, we love clickbait on this show. That's what we do.
That's what we do."
With Love coming back, what are the key things Green Bay needs to do to beat Minnesota handily?
Just show up.
Turn over Sam Darnold.
Turnover Sam Darnold is, yes, if you get turnovers.
Make his life hell.
With that, are you afraid that Sam might have those horrible what the hell moments and actually get punished? Yes, I am a little afraid.
Yeah. Nope.
Lastly.
Absolutely not.
Well, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. Optimistic, Paul. I'm not worried. It's going to be a great game. And lastly, like Jack, I love to hate watch Chicago. But why do you guys think Minnesota, Green Bay, and Lions fans all respect each other and kind of cheer for each other? Well, we don't cheer for each other.
What? Respect is different than cheer for each other.
He said especially between Green Bay and the Lions. I know Lions people who do not like Green Bay.
You have to respect them, though.
Why is it?
Of course,
I think all the NFC North teams actually respect each
respect.
other.
It's the same as the AFC North. It's respect. But
Of course, the
hatred.
Packers fan thinks we all get along.
Right.
No, everyone hates the Packers.
He says, why is it that Chicago gets such hate from all three teams? And it seems like everyone loves hating on Caleb and seeing him struggle. Like genuine happiness, he says. I actually don't love seeing Caleb struggle.
Oh, I'm thrilled.
I mean, Jack is.
I think it's more of a Caleb Williams thing than a Bears thing.
I agree with
Yeah.
you. I think Packers, I think we all kind of find it amusing that the Bears have the number one pick. He's supposed to be a generational talent and he's struggling so much. Like that is amusing, but I'm not out here actively like I don't care that much. You know, I want the Vikings to go out there and win football games. The Bears, it's funny. The Packers, I would be happy though. I think we all actually hate the Packers. That's the real like triple team.
I mean, I really could care less. Being an AFC North guy instead of an AFC North guy, like I really doesn't.
Magic
compel
Carp
me.
says, also in typical Chargers fashion, the injuries on the team may have tanked any chance we had this year.
He
Herbert's
tried
hurt.
to warn us last
I
week.
know
He tried
did.
to warn me.
He did. He said, "Don't get excited." And Slater got hurt. Bosa's hurt again. Herbert's hurt. Joe Alt is hurt. I mean, it is just.
So that's a follow-up to his question, which was with Josh Allen looking like the best QB in the league and Burrow struggling, is Burrow no longer a top 5 QB? I'd like to put forward Justin Herbert, better record, worse weapons.
What do you think of that? Well, Ziggy, obviously, if you've listened to if you haven't watched the preview show, I'm not going to spoil it. Go watch the preview show and see.
Ziggy's high in a certain someone.
But I'm assuming you still have him as a top 5 quarterback.
No, Burrow's number 6 for me.
Oh,
Burrow's
really?
number 6.
Okay. Do you want to share the ranking? Do you have the ranking?
Yeah, I got Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, and of course Sam Darnold.
I love that.
I got Fields as number 5 for me. So
I would say if I'm still ranking my quarterbacks, I still have Burrow in my top 5. Yes, I do. Okay, let's move on to the next question here. Just going through a few of these. Let's see. Appreciate everyone's comments, saying nice things. Michael Merrill said, another week, great content from the boys. Joe Mikan or Mission. I'm sorry, let me know. Horrible. You know I'm horrible at this. When the season started, I thought we were going to destroy the Vikings. Holy hell, you guys look good. Hope Loves comes back. Definitely be a good game. All right, let's Mercury Road. The Vikings are riding a streak nobody would have predicted by successfully fielding a team for 3 consecutive weeks. Okay. So my question is this. Is this the week the streaking ends and their small package of success retreats as if taking a cold reality bath? And do they forfeit by Saturday or is Friday more likely? A lot of smack talk coming from Packers. A lot of smack talk coming for an undefeated team.
You'd think this Packers team had like beaten somebody.
And that's what I'm saying, man. You know what? Hey, beat us this weekend, and then we'll let the talk happen. That's Ziggy and I sit back and we wait. Jack sit. Well, Jack.
I think you get
lets it loose.
smacked.
All right, let's go over to Idaho Pac-Man. I wonder who he's rooting for. What's up, gents? Questions. Paul, with the big Packers-Vikings matchup looming, please rate the NFC North teams based on home field advantage. I think the Vikings have the biggest home field advantage in the North.
Just tell the Giants that.
I'm sorry?
Tell it to the Giants.
Well, we do have the biggest home
We'll walk
field
right in there in the playoffs and shit all over you.
The next one, well, yeah, I mean, come on.
Sometimes you lose games.
That
Jack.
was Ed Donatel.
We didn't lose at home in the playoffs.
Baltimore. We were there together.
Yeah, that's because you were there.
We were there together. I'm
That's
not a
'cause you
Steeler
were
fan.
there.
I'm a Raven. I'm a Raven guy.
Yeah, but you're a mush.
I wasn't mushing. All right, Vikings. Then I'm going. It's hard
It's
not.
got to be Packers at 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to say.
Packers
Yeah,
won.
Packers 2. Detroit.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Chicago, Detroit. Detroit does have a good one though. I mean, win the playoffs, but just generally speaking. Okay, then we'll go over to Jack, who says Jack, no bias allowed. Would you take peak JJ or peak TJ Watt?
TJ. 100% TJ.
I mean, I actually think it's a fair opinion. But I'd go JJ myself.
I'm taking the second best defensive player of his generation over a stat stuffing bum.
Ziggy, how long until your predicted AFC South champion Titans win a game this year?
Next week in Miami.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I'm going to flip the Bears and the Lions, too. Lions home field advantage was pretty sick in the playoffs. J.K. Zarata says, the Packers had been facing the Vikings or another NFC North Division opponent last week. Do you think Love would have been playing? I haven't read this, but I have to believe he was medically cleared. But due to being an AFC South opponent, they believe they could beat them with a backup, so they gave Love another week of rest. This is not meant to take anything away from the outstanding job Malik did the past 2 weeks. Do you think Love could have gone?
Could have gone last.
So we've talked about this a little bit, but I think again the number one concern is Jordan Love's health. Even beating the Vikings is much less important than Jordan Love's health. I think that's always going to be what's driving it. If they really thought he could play, he'd play.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that. They're not risking. It's too early in the season to send out Jordan if you're not very confident in his ability, and maybe even the entire season. Like, you just committed so much to this guy. All right, let's see. John Exler says, "Hey guys, hope you're enjoying your week. So as the Lions continue to look a little more than mid, and the Vikings look dominant, the Packers look like and play like an AFC super team. Not sure, maybe an NFC." Without their star QB. Let's say that Minnesota and Green Bay continue this for the rest of the year at this level, and Detroit does the same. Is it still crazy to think Detroit misses the playoffs? Because John said that earlier in the year.
Misses the playoff. If both these teams all these teams continue on that track,
kind of an unfair.
I think 3 teams make it from the North.
Oh, really?
If all 3 continue on the track they're on now, Detroit's, what do you think? It's probably like 3, 5,
I don't think
6.
Detroit's really scratched their ceiling.
Of those 3 teams, I think Detroit is the least likely to make the playoffs. Jared Goff has not looked good. He's been uncharacteristically bad in the red zone, and we don't know when or if that's going to break this season. So I don't think the Lions will, but I think they will likely make the playoffs. But I no longer think it's crazy. I was wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. At this current point in time, yeah, Detroit has not looked fantastic,
like
but
7
but
seed,
I do think I still expect the Lions to make your question. The answer to your question is it's not crazy, but if they go on this path, I think they will reach a higher level and get to the playoffs. Cameron Unch says Ziggy seems a bit more tentative about the Packers than he once was during the offseason. We've seen how solid of a team they can be without Love. So my question, this is to you, Ziggy, where do you think they rank amongst the NFC top dogs?
Yeah, so you can go back and look at our power rankings. The thing is we just don't. It's easy to say they've looked great without Jordan Love, but without Jordan Love, they've played 2 bottom feeders. We just don't know how good this team will be with Jordan Love. So I've got him pretty high up there because I think there's a lot of cause for optimism, but I can't put him like number 1 or something.
Okay, so you have them. What the hell does that even mean?
It means I've got him at like 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
But they could move up.
I like it. Yeah, I think that they're probably around there as well. I think that's a good spot. You put, at this point in time, the Vikings. The Vikings are ahead of them right now. I still think I'm more bullish on 49ers coming together. The Eagles, I'm a little more bullish on. But that really might be it, honestly.
No,
that
Dallas turn things around.
Not really. Detroit, I'm a little more bullish on at the moment, even though I think they will get there. Merle says, what do you think is causing the fall in passing stats this season? It's really hard to say. A lot of people have been talking about this. There's debates like the offensive lines are worse. The quarterbacks, aren't the same. Like the quarterback play maybe has been worse than when you had Breeze, Rodgers, Brady, Manning, these guys ripping it for 5,000 yards, it felt like all the time. Then you have Mel Kiper saying that the 2 high safeties needs to be outlawed, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life.
Crazy.
It's like, hey,
it's also not just the 2 high safeties.
Yeah, but I would. What, from Mel?
No, I mean that's not the only thing that's causing this. I will say this: we're not experts. You should go check out what Cody Alexander has to say about this. I think he's the smartest person on defense and like the online NFL sphere. He just did a great interview today with Kevin Cole, and they talked a lot about this and all of the sort of schematic things that go into it. Super interesting stuff. But I think eventually offenses are going to get back ahead.
I'm kind of with you. There's really no one glaring explanation here, Merle, but yeah, I think part of it, I think it's kind of a combination of a bunch of things, and part of it could also just be offenses have not been that good through the first 3 weeks.
It's always cyclical, right? Like offenses innovate, defenses eventually catch up, then someone new comes in, innovates again, and it dominates for a while. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. Butt Pounder 420s. It's always funny.
This guy
says, Why do people say Aaron Rodgers was a playoff choker? If anything, he was usually the main, if not sole, reason the Packers were even in the playoffs to begin with. I think
anyone who says he's a playoff choker is a fool.
I think a lot of the reason people might say it is because there were some big time Packers losses and big moments, like the Buccaneers game, Tom Brady, and during Brady's first season with Tampa, like huge moment. Everyone watches and they see the Packers lose that game. You have the blowout in Atlanta where it was like 40-0 essentially. The helmet catch or the helmet game, the onside kick, like very iconic moment. Who lost that? The Packers. They've had some big time losses, and Rodgers has actually played poorly in a lot of those games, but he also, I get what you're saying. He was the reason they were there. Like Rodgers was amazing. He was an MVP several times. I don't think he's a choker. I do think he had some bad playoff games, but that's the reason why. It's because high profile losses like that in a few of the games where he did play bad. And usually you lose the playoff games where your quarterback is not that good.
San Fran too a couple times, right?
San Fran, yeah. Well, you had the block punt, like the block punt game where Rodgers wasn't great in that one, but again, a block punt. So
I think it's just a matter of Packers fans feel like these Rodgers teams have reached a certain point, that being the NFC Championship so many times, and couldn't get beyond that once. And that's it's just frustration.
Other than
when they, like 2010.
Yeah. It's been a long time. I don't think he was a choker, but there were some bad performances in there that were highlighted. Keith Moon says, PFS upset time yet again. I took an L to be 1-2 with my upsets. Well, all three of you rode the Vikes to 2-1. So congrats. Well, you should have followed us, man. We know what we're talking about here. Right now, I'm seeing their dogs again to the Packers. So take them again. I dare you. This week, I actually have a fair number of upsets I think will happen to choose from. I'm taking the one where I'm a little stunned by the line, that is. Even with the Rams' injuries to wide receivers, being dogs to the Bears seems so wrong, and I'm taking the Rams over Chicago. Even as I type this on a Tuesday, the line is bigger than when it opened yesterday. So a lot of faith in the Bears there. Aside from that, any of you have any take on how different the Packers-Vikings game looks depending on who starts at QB? If Malik Willis wins, the Vikings will win that game, period.
I think the Packers win no matter what.
If Jordan Love plays, I still think the Vikings win a close one. But we'll get after Malik, and I don't see him repeating the Tennessee performance. But maybe I'm just a doubter. As far as the upset picks go,
I got the Panthers.
You got the... I'm with you on the Rams. I think the Rams beat Chicago.
I'm
on the Vikings. I'm on the Vikings.
I'll ride them again.
Yeah, we're riding the Vikings. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're riding the Vikings.
Come on, Paul.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's my bad. Kale Pops says, I have to be saying that wrong. Congrats on going 3-0 since 2016. It is, I believe. Yeah, I think it is. The Sam Bradford. I keep calling Darnold Bradford.
Not both Sam.
The Darnold or Bradford 5-0 year. How are you feeling about the upcoming London game versus the Jets? Should be a great game. Love the show. I'm excited for that. Vikings-Rodgers is always a good time, but I think the Vikings are amazing in London, so I'll be picking us. Like we own London. We don't lose there.
You beat us there a couple of years ago.
We beat everyone there. Beat the Browns there. We beat the Saints there. Like that's our place. I'm very excited though. I can't wait to see the Jets-Vikings. Hugh Pack says, is the AFC South the worst division in football? NFC North is currently 4-1 against it, and I'm struggling to understand whether it's because the North is actually good or just teeing off against lousy opponents.
I think the AFC South is bad right now. The Colts
is bad.
Yeah, Colts horrible. Jags horrible. Titans horrible. What are they, 1-8 combined?
They have teams.
Yeah, but beating bad NFL teams is still hard. So I think it's some of both.
Yeah, in terms of worst division, it has to. Yeah, easily.
I mean, it's got to be this
easily.
The South, yeah.
I mean, the NFC East people didn't like, but the Commanders look good. The Giants have shown more promise. Okay, a few more questions here, and then we're out. Eli Ice, do you think the Steelers would be able to win a game if Bryce Young was their QB?
0-17.
Yeah.
0-17.
They can barely win when Justin Fields is their QB.
0-17.
0-17?
Yes.
Dobby the Dobner says, if Jefferson keeps up this level of consistency, as I'm sure he will, do you think he'll be unanimously the GOAT wide receiver, or will it turn into an MJ LeBron debate? I mean, he'd have to keep this up for a long time. Just go look at Jerry Rice's football reference sheet. I mean, it is... Holy crap. Like, just go look at it. It would take a lot. But yeah, I mean...
Jerry Rice put together consecutive 1,000-yard seasons with 16 combined touchdowns in his 17th and 18th years in the league.
Yeah, he was 40 years old, had 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Where's Antonio Brown?
That's oof. It would take a lot from Jefferson. 4 left here. Washington legit or the Bengals washed, Ziggy?
Washington legit.
I'm going to take the Packers-Vikings, or he's going to the Packers-Vikings game in December. It's the Paul Farrington Show doing a tailgate.
Oh.
Hey, if that game's close, you never know. We might just send it.
Now it's on my mind.
I don't think so, though.
Now it's on my mind.
I think the Commanders are better than people expect. I don't think the Bengals are washed.
The Bengals are washed.
I also don't think Washington's legit. I just think they had a great game. Packers go. Is it crazy to say that the Packers are the biggest threat to the Chiefs? Yes.
Yes.
Magikarp.
Yes.
His question from Josh Allen we hit. And last one
that.
from JJB or our boy Jeremy. From Jeremy. Are the Packers or Vikings going to have more rushing yards at the end of the upcoming game on Sunday? Has the Vikings' run defense been truly tested this year with Joe Mixon and Run CMC missing in the matchups? What's the over-under for Aaron Jones' numbers? I'd say 120 rushing yards. 40 receiving and 3 touchdowns. That's an amazing game.
That's an unbelievable game. Yeah.
All right. Feel free to answer any or none of these questions. Hey, Jeremy, you made the cut. So what do you think, Ziggy? Have we not been tested in the rushing defense?
I mean, I don't think we've been tested that way, but I'm also not sure that. Josh Jacobs is a good player, but I'm not sure that he's really Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I think that the 49ers game is a good sort of thing here. Jordan Mason put up 5 yards a carry. He had a couple big runs, but the Vikings kept it under control. They didn't let it take over the game. I don't think we're going to have the same level of success against the run that we did against Houston and the Giants, but I don't think that Josh Jacobs will handily own us. On the other hand, I think Aaron Jones is going to have to be a bigger receiving threat than running. The Packers are going to demand that Sam Darnold beat them. So I'm not expecting a huge game on the ground from him, though he could have a couple big catches.
I think I'm with you. I would probably say the Packers will end up with more rushing yards in this one for the reasons that you dropped there. But I hope Aaron Jones runs for 120, 3 touchdowns and 40 receiving yards. That's awesome.
That's the case.
We should win that.
Yeah, that's the case. You probably win.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We have more reactionary content coming out following week 4. I mean, just a
reactionary content.
Yeah. What is that not true?
Do you know what the word reactionary means?
Maybe I don't. What?
Never mind.
Reaction content?
Folks, put in the comments what reaction. You said reactionary. Folks, put in the comments what reaction.
Reaction content?
You're pulling at me. Yeah,
I'm
and Ziggy's coming at you.
I'm being a little... Well, you don't know either, right?
Of course I know.
Jack, what does reactionary mean?
I'm not going to say it on air.
Yeah.
You really can't.
All right. So we will see you with reaction content for week 4. Thanks, everyone, for listening.